6:15. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by Dulmin Samarasinghe, read by Soundit Thavam. Doctors request the parents to vaccinate their children without any fear. The vaccination of children will commence tomorrow. The Parliament Select Committee expresses its common stance on the Provincial Council election. A series of regulations introduced for private buses. More than 200,000 metric tons of fruits are destroyed annually. In foreign news, the United Nations Security Council presses the Taliban on women's rights. In sports, the Ashes, the Australian Prime Minister says no special deals for England families. During a media briefing organised by the President's Media Centre, a group of consultant doctors requested parents to vaccinate their children without any fear. The vaccination of children with various illnesses will commence tomorrow at the Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital in Colombo. Plans have been made to vaccinate them with the recommendations of their doctor at the clinic. Plans will be made to vaccinate children in due course at all provincial, district and base hospitals. The vaccination of children will take place under 3 categories. Children with illnesses between the ages of 12 and 19 will be vaccinated first. Healthy children between the ages of 15 and 19 will be vaccinated next. The doctors said that the vaccination of children between the ages of 12 and 15 will be done as soon as the recommendations of the experts are received. Consultant Dr. Anuruddha Padenia said that a hotline will be introduced to give advice if complications occur at home. Pediatric specialist Professor Pujita Vikramasinghe said that online education has caused serious impediments to develop children's external skills. He said countries such as the US, Australia, Switzerland, Norway and the UK have already vaccinated children in those age categories. Committee Chairman, Leader of the House, Minister Dinesh Gunawardena said yesterday it is the general opinion of the Select Committee of Parliament to identify appropriate reforms of the election laws and the electoral system and to recommend necessary amendments that the Provincial Council elections should be held expeditiously. He also said that a request has been made to obtain the recommendations of the Attorney General's Department regarding the steps to be taken to hold the election expeditiously. Member of Parliament Venerable Athurelia Ratanathero, who spoke on behalf of the Ape Janabala Pakshiya, said that it should be appropriate to abolish the existing preferential electoral system completely. Venerable Ratanathero also pointed out the need to have a Member of Parliament responsible for a division. Venerable Ratanathero further stated that the representation of minority parties should be ensured and a culture of ideological politics should be created in the country. The Venerable Thero further stated that criteria should be formulated regarding the control of election expenses and that democratic principles should be introduced to political parties. Speaking at the committee on behalf of the Samagi Jana Balavegaya, former Minister Ajith P. Pereira said that the 20th Amendment to the Constitution had given power to other parties. He also pointed out that a policy of checks and balances should be implemented between the executive, the legislature and the judiciary. Mr. Ajith P. Pereira suggested in the committee that dual citizenship should be a disqualification to contest elections and that a system should be set up for the proper registration of all eligible voters. A series of regulations have been introduced when operating private buses. The Chairman's Federation of the Provincial Transport Authority has issued the regulations. A media briefing in this regard took place in Dambulla today. It was disclosed that the driver and the conductor of the bus should have received a vaccine. It is mandatory for the passengers to wear face masks until the end of their journey. The conductor is entrusted with the responsibility to make certain that passengers wear face masks all the time. Meanwhile, convener of the Federation, Nilantha Ekanayaka, said that the State Ministry of Transport has introduced an annual package of 50,000 rupees for bus owners for each bus. It is reported that more than 200,000 metric tons of fruits are destroyed annually due to post-harvest damages. The destruction is being caused since proper technical methods are not followed when transporting and storing of the harvest. A research conducted by the National Engineering Research Development Centre and the Engineering Faculty of the Peradeniya University have found that 40% of the fruit harvest has to be discarded. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. Colonel Alexei A. Bondarev, the new military air and naval attaché to the Embassy of the Russian Federation in Sri Lanka, called on the commander of the Navy, Vice Admiral Nishanta Ulugetana, at the Navy headquarters today. They exchanged views on long-standing and mutually supportive relations between the navies of both countries. This is also the first official meeting between Colonel Alexei A. Bondarev and Vice Admiral Nishanta Ulugetana on his assumption of duties at the Embassy of the Russian Federation. A man sentenced to life imprisonment for drug trafficking after spending 2 years in jail was acquitted by the Court of Appeal, observing that the evidence of main prosecution witnesses, 2 police officers attached to the Police Narcotics Bureau, cannot be considered credible. While ordering to set aside the conviction of the accused, Court of Appeal President Justice Priyantha Fernando and Justice Sampath Abekun held that it is unsafe to convict the accused on their evidence. That concludes local news.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddha Lepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddha Lepa, the Vidya Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddha Lepa Vidya Mahatmya.
Kelaniya University Medicine faculty Professor Arjuna De Silva said public transport facilities will not be adequate and it will become the mode of spreading of the COVID virus again if the full strength of public servants are summoned to work at once. He said the country should be opened under strict travel restrictions and health guidelines. Professor De Silva said it is clear that the current COVID situation is spreading rapidly from public transport services. He added that calling approximately 25% of government employees first would be the best course of action and came to you in the main news story.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddha Lepa Vidya Mahatmya. Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddha Lepa.
And now in Watch Light.
The Sri Lanka Computer Emergency Readiness Team Information Security Engineer Deenadayalan Nagaratnam said incidents of cybercrime and cyber harassment have seen a rapid increase during the period of the COVID-19 pandemic, with the reported cases rising from 4,000 to 16,000 from 2017 to 2020. He said according to the CID data in 2018, around 90% of Sri Lankan university students have become victims of cyber harassment and came to you in Watchlight.
World News.
Making headlines this evening, the United Nations Security Council presses the Taliban on women's rights. Taiwan sees entry into key trade pact before China. And Somalis enjoy first public film screening in decades. The foreign ministers of the United Nations Security Council's 5 permanent members have discussed the Taliban's interim government in Afghanistan. They agreed to urge the Taliban to uphold women's rights, but were apparently split about whether to provide financial aid. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres was also present. A high-ranking U.S. State Department official says they agreed to urge the Taliban to ensure Afghanistan does not become a hub for terrorism. Taiwan has filed an application to join the key Asia-Pacific Trade Pact just days after China submitted an application. But it warned that its bid to join the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership could be put at risk should China join first. The two places have a complicated relationship. Taiwan sees itself as an independent nation, but China regards it as a breakaway province. Somalia has hosted its first public film screening in 30 years, raising hopes of a cultural revival in the war-ravaged country. 2 short films by Somali director Ibrahim CM were shown at the National Theatre in the capital Mogadishu, where heavy security was in place. The theatre has been a suicide bomb target and a base for warlords. Theatre director Abdikadir Abdi Yusuf said it was a historic night for the Somali people. Back to the headlines of the world news. The United Nations Security Council presses the Taliban on women's rights. Taiwan seeks entry into key trade pact before China. And the Somalis enjoy first public film screening in decades. That concludes this bulletin of world news. And moving on to development news, the government and the World Bank signed a $92 million financing agreement for the Climate Resilience Multi-Phase Program Phase 1 project. This project is expected to benefit around 11.2 million people across the country by modernizing the weather, flood and landslide forecasting and early warning systems. It will also lay the foundation for reducing flood risks in the Kalani River Basin in the long run, and came to you in development news.
Sports news.
On to cricket. Sri Lanka Cricket today announced the commencement date and team composition for the second edition of the Lanka Premier League. Sri Lanka Cricket said that the second edition of the tournament will be held from the 4th to the 23rd of December 2021 and will consist of 5 teams with each having a 20-player squad. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison says there will be no special deals after Boris Johnson asked for families of England cricketers to be allowed to travel for the Ashes. The first test begins on 8th December, but some England players are considering pulling out as a result of Australia's strict COVID-19 travel protocols. On to news from the Winter Olympics. United States athletes competing at the Beijing 2022 Winter Olympics and Paralympics have been told they must be vaccinated against COVID-19. American athletes did not have to be vaccinated at the Tokyo 2020 Games. The United States Olympic and Paralympic Committee guidelines say the health and the well-being of all athletes is top priority. On to rugby news. Contact training will be reduced across the rugby union in an attempt to prevent injuries and protect player welfare. World Rugby guidance will limit full contact training to 15 minutes a week after research showed 35 to 40% of injuries occurring in training. 600 players in 18 competitions were consulted, as well as coaches and strength and conditioning experts. That came to you in sports news. Business news up next.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are. Download the NSB Pay app from the Play Store or the App Store for free now. For more information, call your nearest NSB branch or 0112 379 379. Conditions apply.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Sala Global Private Limited has joined hands with Luxilla to take their products through their showrooms and using their IT knowledge. Some key features that also attracted Sala to take this opportunity was the 50,000 plus locally made products available with Luxilla, craftsmanship and the quality. Sala is able to offer global presence and experience, explore new markets and explore online marketing, reaching a wide base of customers. That came to you in Business News. Economic news up next.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
A safe, easy and versatile app for all your banking needs. NSB Pay for monetary transactions, bill payments, reloads, credit card payments and Lanka QR transactions. A range of facilities with multiple account registrations. Access to your bank needs wherever you are.
Moving on to economic news, the Ports Ministry has received a cabinet approval this week to float fresh tenders to develop the Port of Galle as a public-private partnership project at an estimated cost of $175 million. The Cabinet on Tuesday approved a proposal presented by Ports and Shipping Minister Rohitha Abegunawardena to call for requests for proposals to develop the port under the theme of tourist destination and secured port, which would enable its transformation to a regional commercial port with a fully fledged yacht marina. That came to you in economic news.
Weather report.
The Met Department says the showery condition of the southwestern part of the island is likely to enhance during the next few days. Showers and thundershowers will occur at times in the western, Sabaragamuwa, central and northwestern provinces and also in the Galle and Matara districts. Showers and thundershowers will occur at several places elsewhere in the evening or night. Fairly heavy showers above 50 millimeters can be expected at some places in these areas. To conclude this bulletin of news, a recap of the headlines. Doctors request the parents to vaccinate their children without any fear. The vaccination of children will commence tomorrow. The Parliament Select Committee expresses its common stance on the Provincial Council election. A series of regulations introduced for private buses. More than 200,000 metric tons of fruits are destroyed annually. The United Nations Security Council presses the Taliban on women's rights. And the Australian Prime Minister says no special deals for England families. That concludes this evening's news broadcast.